Good morning, guys. It's just before sunrise. That star you see in the middle there, that's Venus, the morning star. Pretty much right on cue. It's in the right spot to be called the morning star. So calm. Yeah, so basically the plan for today is I'm going to show you guys, it's like a what I eat in a day video. It's going to be a lot of good food, really good and really clean food, pretty much all raw meat, coupled with plasma, which is just salty water. And yeah, I'm kind of pretty excited to make like this little video series about like a health journey, going back into eating really clean. I used to eat really clean, completely cutting out 100% of things that isn't like fully like natural of the earth. And not only is it like not like natural of the earth, like in its natural state as well, which is why I was like into that raw meat stuff. But then I've kind of gone off it the last year or so, and my health hasn't been the best. So now I want to get back into it and really show you guys some of the stuff I eat, you know, when I really want to put my health first. So it's going to be a lot of pretty good food, and of course, you know, starting off the day, just kind of waking up naturally. Of course, I would never set an alarm. And we're right in time for the sunrise. Gorgeous stuff. I don't know if you can see, but yes, I ground. But all this grass is dry, like bone dry grass right here. And all this grass is just super dry. He couldn't harvest this grass because of other issues, but yeah, I've never seen the grass actually dry here before because it usually rains so much. Anyways, we're just going to be enjoying the sunrise a little bit, enjoying this nice calm morning, and then I'll get inside and I'll basically start the day, full day of what I eat in a day, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so this is one of the most important things that I drink. It's known as plasma. It's basically just sea salt mixed with water, and it's kind of specific. You want specifically coarse gray sea salt. It has to say gray sea salt. Sometimes on packages it'll be like labeled as a Celtic sea salt. Either or, just make sure it's a kind of high quality. Like it's the kind of salt that's, you know, like you have someone, you know, dragging the seawater onto like a shoreline and have it naturally dry with like the sun and the wind, and you get like these large crystals of sea salt. And the reason why you want the large crystals, you don't want it kind of refined and crushed, is because these crystals actually, it structures the water. And of course the salt itself, you know, these minerals is what hydrates, is what makes your water you know, hydrating to drink. And you know, this is really important because, you know, when you consider like what is your body made out of, I believe it's made out of salts. I think like, you know, your tissues, your blood, your plasma, your oil, like your bones, like this is all like these, like the building blocks of like your entire body is these salts. And also considering that we're electromagnetic beings, we signal throughout our body using electricity, you know, to kind of keep that conductivity up and kind of keep the plasma levels high and flowing, all that jazz. You know, you kind of need to take salt with your water, take salt with your food. If you're eating food that's naturally high in salt content, like flesh, like meat, like organ meat, you know, you don't need to, I don't think you need to like rely on the salt. But like I use this because it's like super hydrating. So basically, like I just have a little bit of it in this cup, and you could take like a little measuring thing, pop it in there, and then kind of mix it around. I'm just literally using a wooden spoon, but you kind of get the point. So there's actually a specific protocol that I use when it comes to drinking this salty water. So in the morning, I would chug about like a whole liter of this stuff. And usually you want about 9 grams per liter of sea salt to water. because that kind of roughly mimics the salinity of your blood. But in the morning, I kind of double it to about 18 grams a liter. So I'll make that amount, and then I'll chug that first thing in the morning, and that's gonna initiate like one of the craziest cleanses to start your day. Like you're just gonna basically you go straight to the bathroom and you're just gonna crap out a ton of mucus. Like it's just all mucus. It is diarrhea, but when you actually look at it closer, like if you ever poke at it or something, like it's just globules of just pure mucus. Like when you drink a lot of like sea salt mixed with water, your body, if it's toxic, will generate ungodly amounts of mucus, you know, and that comes right out of the colon. If you have a lot of it, like toxicity in your lungs, like you just start producing mucus like crazy. And as we know through like George Carey's work, you know, mucus is like the way that the body kind of stores the toxins and eliminates it out of the body is through the mucus and through the mucous membrane. So if you're eliminating mucus, you're eliminating toxins, and this is like a really super powerful way to sort of detox yourself. There are like entire protocols surrounding this because you have to be a lot more knowledgeable. It's not just as simple as, you know, drinking salty water, because if you do it, you know, you kind of build up the resources and then you start detoxing, and if you don't know what's happening, you kind of get freaked out, or you're like, oh my god, why am I feeling so sick? But you got to understand it's a process your body goes through to heal itself. Alright, so this is the first meal of the day, steak tartare with some parm crisps. I'm telling you, this is literally like the best food ever. And then when you couple the steak tartare with like the crispy kind of saltiness of like a Parmesan crisp, and I know this is like super fancy. Dude, I swear to God, that's like the best bite ever. So normally for steak tartare, people usually use tenderloin, which is a very expensive cut. Even tenderloin, and that's out of my price range. So I usually go for like a sirloin medallion. It's a really good substitute for a tenderloin. I mean, it costs like half the price of a tenderloin, and in my opinion, it's literally just as tender. It has just as much flavor. Like, it's just not a popular cut, so that's why they don't price it as much. But that's what I use for a steak tartare. You could use like a strip loin or like a ribeye and stuff like that, or I don't know, like a flat iron, or there's like other cuts you can use for sure. But I feel like the sirloin medallion is like the best substitute. Dude, that is just so freaking delicious, man. Like, dude, yeah, this is freaking 5-star eating. And I know cuts of steak cost a lot. Like, if this is like a lot for you to eat every day, like I don't eat this every day. I'm just showing you guys kind of like the best of what I eat in a day, almost. But you can substitute this with like ground beef. Won't be as good because I feel like the texture of like a steak is just so much more appetizing. It's just something about when you cut steaks into like thin cubes or thin slices that just makes it so much more palatable, so much more tasty. But you can totally do it with the ground beef, and of course, all the meat I use, fully grass-fed, grass-finished, pasture-raised, like local small family farms, right? They don't use hormones, they don't use vaccines and stuff like that. There should be no excuses. Like, you should be able to find good quality meat that you can eat raw, right? So I'm gonna enjoy this, and maybe work on a couple projects outside. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Just take a look at those colors. It's really like these poplars and the birch. They produce like the craziest colors around here. And it's amazing how fast it happened too. It was like the autumn equinox, it hit, and like 2 days later, the colors started to change. And it's like, wow, it was like right on cue. Autumn just came right at the exact time you expected it. And I didn't expect the color change to happen like right on that day, because leading right up to the equinox, I mean, it was still green. But yeah, this just happened so fast within the last week. Just incredible. Wow. So like when it comes to clouds, like there's like a boundary layer. Like you'll never see clouds like waving in and out. Like they'll follow like a strict boundary layer. Even kind of like the more dispersed clouds, but you really see this when the clouds are more dense. Like why do clouds do that? Why is there like this invisible boundary where it's like you shall not pass? You know, there's something happening with like the hot current and the cold air or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I always notice that every time there's literally always a cloud boundary, and the clouds will follow this boundary for like 50 kilometers or something like that. So there's always going to be people who will ask, why do you eat raw meat? And there's, I would say, a couple of really good answers to that. Firstly, in my experience, it is by far the easiest food to digest. When you drink a raw egg, or you have like a couple slices of raw steak or a bit of raw fat, like you literally do not feel it in your stomach whatsoever. Like you just don't feel heavy. And the next day, like you wake up feeling really light and refreshed. So just based on that experience alone, I know that when I eat meat in its raw, form, like it's also known like as its natural state, it's like my body fully agrees with this, and it fully assimilates into my body. And it's like the next day, it's like, you know, you don't poo as much. You just feel like you've actually digested your food. You don't believe me? I mean, just drink like a couple raw eggs before you go to sleep and see how you feel the next day. In fact, don't have dinner. Just have like some raw eggs and some like a couple slices of raw steak. Have that for your dinner. Go to sleep, wake up, and just notice how you feel. Obviously, and the second part of that is just the nutritional value. Like, you know that meat has all the necessary, the vital micronutrients. And based on my understanding of like the construction of bodies of flesh, I mean, you know, there are different salts and different minerals that go into the construction of like your skin, your fat, your oil, your muscle meat, your nerves, and like the fluids in your body and whatnot. And I think just by consuming that meat as it is. You kind of integrate, like if you eat liver, you're going to gain the minerals, you're going to gain the enzymes to like build your own liver, plus the additional nutrients that actually help support your entire body. So I could go on and on and on about the benefits of eating raw meat, but the only thing I can really say is that if you want to know what it's like, you just got to try it for yourself. There's no other way around it. Like, you will never understand how I feel. You will never know what I'm talking about until you try it for yourself. So that's really all I have to say. For the next meal, I'll make a bit of ceviche. I kind of just make things with what I have. I know usually people add like spring onions or dill and stuff, but I don't have that right now, so I just kind of make it with whatever I have. And it still ends up tasting good anyway, so. And the fish I have is just fresh haddock, caught. Now, I don't usually buy my fish at a store. I buy them like off a truck. Like literally like some guy's pickup truck. Like a fisherman's pickup truck. Like they'll go fishing during the day, and then maybe like the next day they'll sell what they caught and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. Pinch of salt. And a bit of pepper. Sweet, man. And then all you do is just mix this up. And then let it sit for, I don't know. You could eat it now, but I'm still not hungry yet, so I'll probably wait a little bit. Kind of let this sort of marinade as you do. But yeah, that should be pretty good. And yeah, we'll come back to that when I'm hungry. Alright, that was a pretty epic sunset, wouldn't you say? I mean, perfect sunset. Don't have much to say about that. But anyways, dinner time. Oh, hell yeah, that's so good. Like, ceviche is like one of my favorite. Bit of fish, bit of tomato. Yep. Yeah, nothing, like genuinely speaking, I like tomatoes, but I can't stand tomatoes like in any store. Like, it has to come from a farmer's market. It has to come from like a really local like small family farm, and they do it right because I know they don't spray this stuff. You know, I don't know if they're like Mennonites or something, but they're really nice people. But my God, tomatoes super good. After a crisp sunset, like the one we just watched, like this is just such a nice fresh meal. Light, airy, fresh fruits. I feel like this would have been good to eat during the while we were watching the sunset, but I forgot to bring it. So anyways, I'm gonna finish this bowl of food. I don't know if I'll eat all of it. I'll see. Well, like it's a lot of fish, but we'll see how much of it I eat. And then afterwards, it's super clear tonight, so the stars are going to be amazing. So I'll take you guys out for some star gazing. How about that? Sound good? Sweet. Those coyotes, they're right at the bottom of this field. They're right there. Sounds like they got something. There's lots of deers that come through here throughout the night. Yesterday, I heard this pack of coyotes. They were behind the mountain behind me. Today, they're right in this field. They're so close. They're right at that tree line, if you can even see it. There we go. Get a little look there. Sorry, this is the maximum I can set my shutter speed. You can just about see Ursa Major. But the thing about looking at the stars every night is, I swear to God, I swear on my life, the more you watch the stars, the more you see it change. You notice the changes. You notice it flickers, and the luminosity, like I swear to God, it flickers differently night to night. And I don't know if that's just because like the moon, like the brightness of the moon is changing, but you see some crazy things. Like I see shooting star. There's a shooting star right there. But I mean, I see lots of shooting stars, but I swear I see like UFOs, and like I see like these weird like weapons being launched and stuff. Like when you watch the stars every night, there's a ton of stuff going on in the skies. Some of the stuff natural, like the Big Dipper right here, but some of the stuff, I swear to God, I swear on my life, I see like the weirdest like flying lights and saucers, and it's not like a shooting star. Like it's like a fucking like it's something secret up there, man. And there goes the coyotes again. You can hear a second pack of coyotes. So there's one pack basically right in this field, and there's a second pack of coyotes. I don't know if they're communicating with them, but they're like way past, like a couple fields down that way. And I don't know if you want to ask me if I'm brave enough to walk down that field alone, and I might have to pass on that one. I'm just by myself. I don't got nothing. Anyways, I'm gonna watch the stars a little bit, and that'll be it for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll come back, make more of these videos, because this was a lot of fun, guys. I had a lot of fun making this. Peace out and good night.